Good morning to the Monday morning inspiration for the joy of creation and the magic of art, creativity, and play. What magic can we be? What magic can we use? What energies can we use to stay in the flow? So today we are going to talk about 3 common practices that can kill our creations. What does this mean? Let's start with number 1. And this also flows well into the theme of last week. It's about staying in the flow. So what is it actually that we are creating that prevent our creations from even coming into the world, or for finalizing them, for creating what you actually all desire to create? What is that? If there is something that is not the way you wish it could be, should be, what is it actually that you are creating there? So are you actually judging your creation? So judgment is where we kill it. When you judge you, when you judge your creations, when you judge what you are doing, you are actually killing them. And how easy is it for you to judge you? Where have you decided you are not doing it right? Or somebody else told you you are not doing it right, you are not good enough, you don't do enough, you don't create at the right time of the day, or you should have created yesterday and you didn't, and so that was all wrong. And do you get the energy? When you say you should create more regularly, you should be in your studio or at your desk more often, more frequently, should. This is all judgment. And when you just tap into that, is this what you are actually choosing? Judging is a choice. When you judge you, this is what you are choosing. It is not something that is so, or that you have to do it. So everywhere you have learned and so entrained with judgment, are you willing to let that go? It is not normal. It is a choice that you are making. It is a choice. You are choosing to judge you. You are choosing to make you wrong. Good morning. So, and then also when you choose that, you are blocking the road, you are stopping, you are stopping the flow. And this is what you are setting up for you. So you will feel bad, you judge you feel wrong, and you will not go in your studio. It's like, can you sense how this is this very barrier that that you are creating? Hello there. Oh, welcome. I'm very happy you are being here.
Hello, it's Cass.
Cass! Wow, that's beautiful. Hey, beautiful you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, darling, sweetheart. How are you being today?
I'm half asleep still.
Oh. Oh, that is so amazing that you are joining. Yes, it is so early. Wow. My goodness. That is so cool. You know, I just started talking about the three common practices that we are using to kill our creations. And the first thing that I was just mentioning is judging our creations, or judging us, that we are, I have so many people who ask me actually, what's it going to take to stay in the flow? And so I'm wondering, what is it that we are choosing when we are not being in the flow? What is it that is stopping us? And I know from you, Cass, that you have been looking into where we are where we are judging, and what judgment actually is creating, how invasive it is, and how sneaky. And how often do we think that it's just normal to judge us? I was just saying that judgment is a choice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And a habit.
And a habit, right? Yes, it is something that we think we should do, that is normal, and it's sneaking in, as we never consider that it is a choice. It's actually an
Mm-hmm.
action. It's an action that is so sneaky and very often hidden in unawareness, like where we never even look, because everybody is doing it. And so the other thing is where we are actually avoiding to make a different choice. So when we keep judgment as this underground river that we never look at, and we always think it's normal, like in the art world, like how much judgment is in the art world, whether it's with painters, actors, writers, photographers, sculptors. It's called critique, and it's all judgment. How much of that is in the global art world, Cass?
Well, so much about the art world it is the art, is the um, people going in somebody's show and deciding what it is that artist is saying, and how much significance there is to everything, and their point of view of it as well. Like, it's so much is built around judgment and what is right, what is wrong, blah 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 blah, right?
Yes, exactly. What is the style? What is contemporary even, and what is contemporary art? Everything is so full of conclusions, projections, and expectations, that it is so easy, isn't it so easy to get lost in all of that? And where does our creativity come in? Where does actually the flow come in, and where does it stop? And it's, if we listen to everybody who has an opinion about what art is or isn't, what good art and bad art is, if we really listen to this, we might as well just stop. Where's the joy in all of that? And where's the joy of creation, and the joy of just bringing something out into the world without judging it? The moment we judge it, we kill it. We kill the life force, and we also kill everything that our creation could be in the future. We destroy our future, actually, because we limit what is possible. We can never see anything else. And when we make these judgments and these critiques significant, as you just said, when we make them significant and mean anything, we stop what is possible for us. I see this all the time. I heard it all the time around me, and what people say about art or not, and it is actually, it is so invasive exactly in the area that is art. and what, on the other hand, what contribution can art be, can writing be? I mean, all the great art, the actors, they are here, they created something, and basically some of them went down the drain, and others found ways of not making it significant, and then they could still be and create. And when you all really choose to not make judgment and critique and opinion mean anything, you can create anything. I just had a really amazing, how can I say this when I say now awareness, right? Let me tell you a quick brief story from my world. It was a year ago, exactly a year ago, that I had submitted two paintings into a show, and it was a statewide show, and artists could submit work, and we all hung our work in a beautiful center in Madison. And then the work was being judged for a statewide award. I was convinced that I would win an award, and it was not this, it didn't come from force, but I had this knowing. It was really like, wow, this is so beautiful. I saw them hang there, and I knew one of them would win an award. I just knew it, right? With this really, the softness of that knowing. And then when the day of the award ceremony came, I was sitting in the audience, and my heart was pounding, and my painting was there, and it was so beautiful. I was receiving so much energy, and then found out that I had not won an award. I had not even won an honorable mention. Now, what was my first reaction? I wanted to just take my painting and go. I took it so personal. I wanted to go. I didn't get it. I was upset, and I was huffing and puffing, literally. And I just had you see, this is a choice moment, right? And I just for a moment went into next door room that was empty, and I sat there on the table, huffing and puffing. And then I used some tools, amazing tools, to clear out my world, to just, when these moments, and have you had that at all? In these moments, it seems to be, they are so full of weed, that like the grasses are tall, you don't see anything. And it, I cleared and cleared and cleared, and I had also tears, and it was like such a significant moment of so many fixed points of view. And I sat there, and I was just breathing and breathing, and I thought one question: what other choice could I make here? What other choice is available? Rather than seeing the wrongness of the moment, it's like, what's right about this I'm not getting, and what other choice is available right now, a choice that I maybe might not have had 5 minutes ago. And I chose to be with it, to be and sit there, and to receive everything, to receive everybody else's awards and what they said, and also receive their paintings. And also what I chose is to be with my paintings, and to not leave them, but to be with them, and like just sit there and be there. So I set them up in the room with everybody else's work, which I could do like in the background behind us. We could all put our work, and then some people would, the ones who won an award, they would go up in front and talk about their work. And I sat through all of this, and behind me was the organizer of the event, and he whispered in my ear, he said, Bettina, you should have won an award. I mean, I hadn't said a thing. And he said, you know, at the end of this, when everybody has talked, I think we will have some time. You just go take your silk painting and talk about it. I was like, really? Do you think? He said, yes, do it. So I waited until the very last moment, and there were still people in the audience. I went to the microphone up on the stage, and I took 5 minutes that I had and talked about my work. And that was that. And at, you know, people came to me and they told me how much they loved my painting, which is also a judgment, right? It's not better than the negative one, whatever, you know. Judgment is judgment. And so anyway, long story short, this year I went to a fundraiser event, and who sat at my table? The judge from last year. He was so kind to me, and he told me how wonderful my work was. And, you know, I just sat there and we had an amazing conversation. And at the end, he told me, you will be very successful. And it's like, you know, like I just sat there and I was in awe. What if nothing ever is right? Nothing ever is wrong? But we are strong. It is the moment when we don't make judgment significant. It is the moment when I chose to stay and be with my art, with my paintings, to not leave them, to not slip away through some escape door, slip into the anger and upset, but I just received it and I was being there. It literally changed something in my reality. And just to see that this world is not your enemy. You who are the artists, what if the entire world is actually a place and a space that would love to contribute to you? Who cares if there are people who are mean? Who cares if they ever said anything mean to you? It doesn't mean that you have to leave your creations. It doesn't mean that you have to leave you. What if you be with everything in the fire, even if it is uncomfortable? Even if people say mean things or nasty things or anything you judge as mean and nasty, what if you ask a question? This is also one of the 3 common things that we use that can kill our creations. It is when we don't ask a question. A question will always change the situation. What's right about this I'm not getting? Not what is wrong about my creation, not what is wrong about me, but what's right about this? What's right about this I'm not getting? It opened something a year ago. It opened something in my universe where I was willing to stand tall, to be there, be with it. Okay, I didn't get an award. I got another award a month later, right? I also chose to keep applying, to keep showing. How many of you have decided that you must never show again, that you must never show up again? What are you actually choosing? What are you choosing that is killing your creations, that is killing you? You know, had I chosen to walk away, to take my paintings and walk away, to huff and puff and be with my judgment, do you get what this would have created? How many doors would I have shut, slammed?
Mm-hmm. I met a woman at the farmer's market on Saturday, who her art was the colors she was using and her textures, and I was commenting on that and asking if she was going to be in the fine art show that we have, a huge amazing art show in the town I live in. And she said no, and she didn't have a lot of confidence in her work. And so as I was talking to her, it turned out there's a small gallery in town, and she'd taken her work in there, and the person who runs the gallery had commented negatively about her art. And she'd totally taken it to heart. And other than being at the farmer's market, she wasn't willing to pursue anything again. So it was so interesting. So I basically stayed in there in her booth until she began to see that maybe it was a possibility to get her work into the fine art show for the following year. And it's so interesting how often we can allow the judgment of even one person like that, of what their opinion is.
Yeah, when we allow that in, that energy, and actually who is making it destructive, right? Is it the person with the that is saying something negative, or is it what we are making of it?
Totally. How much credence do we give to that person's point of view?
Yeah, yes, exactly. And how much power are we giving them?
Totally.
Wow. And thank you so much for staying in that booth and changing the world there, Cass. That is amazing.
Those are the things that are always fun to do, and see if we can just crack something open a little bit, like a different possibility for somebody, whether they choose to step into it or not, right?
And how much are we, like in the art world, how much are we making it about being the chosen one? It's like this passive where we wait for the jury results, or we wait for anybody saying something nice, this whole validation thing. So we are being the chosen ones, but what if we are actually the choosing ones? And what can this create? The choosing ones. When we choose, like how many of you are not really choosing your creations, but you wait for others to choose them or to validate them? But if you give all of that out of you and you don't choose it for you and for your art or writing or whatever you are creating, business, right? If you are not choosing it with and for you, nobody else can and will. It is really where you have to really choose it. And also the willingness to be strong, to not quit. And this is also a choice. And nothing is right, nothing is wrong. Of course, if you take it personal and you make it all about that, that's okay. That's your choice. What are you creating with that? And then wondering why you are not in the flow or things are not flowing. It's really where we have in our universe these stickies that might not even be ours. That might not be ours. So ask you, whose is this? Is this even mine? And see yes or no. And sometimes a very easy thing to choose or to do in the very moment is just, whatever this is, never mind, I keep creating. Who cares? Just keep creating. Keep creating. Keep creating. There's nothing that is keeping you from creating but you. Nothing and no one. It's you. So if you ask me, how do I stay in the flow? How can you stay in the flow of creation? It's like I would ask you, what is it that makes you think you are not? Because you always are. Except for the fixed points of view that sit like big fences and walls in your universe. You create them. You create them. Because right now, in this very moment that you are watching this, you could take a paintbrush and paint. You could take a pencil and draw. What keeps you from it? What keeps you from choosing that? You can just start singing. You can write right now, pencil, paper, and write. It's this choice that you are making. It is also whatever it is that you are avoiding. So we are talking about a lot more things here than 3 things. It's like, and it boils down to choice. What is it that you are choosing? What is it that you are avoiding? What do you make more significant than your joy of creation? Have you concluded and decided how and what your creations have to be in the world? Do you make it about selling? Do you make it about money? Do you make it about validation? If you don't validate you, if you don't have your own back, nobody else will. It is in the very moment that you make that choice to be here and to not run and to keep walking, even if it seems impossible, just make the next step and the next step and the next. And don't walk away. The greatest artists could have walked away because they also don't think they didn't have anybody like saying something negative. They all did. They all did. The only difference is they didn't walk away. They kept moving. They kept creating. They kept breathing. They kept breathing. Take a long inhale and exhale now. If you are here, you are a creator. You are an artist. All of you who are watching this. And I'm happy you are here. Thank you so much. And look at these questions. Ask you, what are you actually choosing? Okay, what are you actually occupying you with or preoccupying you with that keeps you from being and choosing the joy of creating that is you? And keep asking that question. What are you occupying yourself with to distract you from creating? Cass, is there anything that you would like to say to add to this?
That was a really good question. How many things do we distract ourselves with rather than creating? And whether it's things that we think we should do instead, or get accomplished, or blah blah blah. Yeah, I love that question. Thank you.
Oh, you're so very welcome. And you know, the other day I wanted to write distract, and I wrote destruct. So like what are we using to distract and destroy ourselves and our creations? And
creative energy.
yes, exactly. We and what is it actually? Are we making sure then that we will not are we making sure that we will not be the brilliance and the greatness as the creators that we truly be? And how much are we trying to be like everybody else? Like the bell curve, where 68% is this middle part, this how do you say that, median, right? The mediocrity, like the middle part, where everything that is above it or below it will be just like just thrown away. They don't count. What counts in statistics is this big bunch in the middle. And how much are we trying to fit in? Or like, really, what if we never made judgment mean anything? We just kept being like, okay, cool, like, ha, ha, ha. And I keep creating, it's like, wow.
Even creating for the sake of creating.
Yeah.
What I found, I haven't been painting for a while, but when I do, I tend to just follow where the paint wants to play. What color would be fun to add now? When I've gone in with a point of view of something that I have to create, or that it needs to look a particular way, for me, it's like, and I realize when I just follow the energy, and for me, it's actually the process. It's totally the process of it. It's playing with the colors and adding a little bit of something here, a touch there, and yeah.
Right? Isn't that fun?
Yes.
To be in the moment and just like, oh, now a little glitter wants to come in or whatever, and allow that to be.
Yeah. And when we're in that space, that is the space of no judgment.
Yeah. And then the people from this reality come in and they say, well, describe, how are you creating? What is your creative process? And it's like,
And what are you trying to say here?
I know. I know. It is so funny what and as you said before, the interpretations, it's like, wow, what is this all about? Why is it so important to interpret? And how much are we actually limiting this way what we could receive? Who cares what it means? Like, who cares? Like why did we paint a flower or a tree, like, or a blob of red on white or something? It's like the meaning and the significance. What if it doesn't? And I love what you say, Cass, too. Just the joy, just for the joy of it.
And we're not making it so significant.
Yeah. Exactly.
How many possibilities do we squash with significance? Even thinking of a painting being in a show and somebody coming up with really fresh eyes, and somebody who is coming in with all their significance, smothering sometimes some of that wonder that people approach with, and going, oh, no, that's and almost not wanting to allow people to thoroughly dive in and enjoy something in a different way, right?
Yeah, and I see this all the time when kids come into my booth. When kids come in, they are just like, oh, and it's like, oh, look this and look that and look this, and then they walk to the next booth. It's like these butterflies coming through that can just flutter around, be with it, enjoy it totally, tell their parents, hey, can we buy this? And then all the points of view that come up about that. But this willingness to just choose something just because, like no reason, it's this, the energy and the joy of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, wow. What a delightful conversation. I love it. Wow. This is beautiful, Cass. Thank you so much for having jumped onto this call. Is there anything else?
Nothing comes to mind right now.
Your kindness is changing the world.
And yours.
So beautiful, Cass. You are in Vancouver, right? And if people want to find you, they want you to come to facilitate a class or a session, where can they find you? Beautiful you, who is walking into booths and changing artists' universes.
Where can they find me? Good question. Dragonfly Whispers and Healing .com. I'm like, what comes after that? I forgot.
Thank you so much for this beautiful Monday morning inspiration, and I see you all next Monday. I have no idea what we are going to talk about, but we are gonna find something. So join us and let's play. Thank you.
Thank you, Bettina, and thank you for your kind words.
Oh, you are so welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. I got it. It's here. It's tickling my cheeks. Like a dragonfly whispering. Bye, sweetheart.
Bye, love.